Welcome back to another video. My name is Adam. Today we're going to be going over Solo stock. I have some shares in this company and investors are getting impatient for the first deliveries of Electrameccanicas or Solo's flagship product, which is the single-seater Solo car. So we're going to be talking about all of that now. So thank you for joining me today. My name is Adam. On this channel, we talk about finances, everything from stocks to saving money, market psychology, and cryptocurrency. So let's get right into it. So these past couple of days have not been very good for Solo stock. It's down by 8%. And this is a relatively volatile stock, okay? Over the past month, it's down by close to 10%. Over the past year, it's down by 21%. But there's been very large fluctuations in the share price, going from $2.50 all the way to $10.81. The 52-week high was $13.60 before dropping down since its peak by about 70%. And then again, its lows were around $3.05 before going back up 28%. And now it's sitting at just under $4. So I'm down about 30% in my position. I started a position at around $6. And yeah, a lot of investors are getting impatient because they said that they would deliver their Solo cars at the start of Q4 or at least within Q4 and of 2020. Okay, now it's Q2, Q3 of 2021. And we're still not seeing any deliveries of the cards, okay? And this is reflected in many comment section. So for example, here, my favorite paragraph is still in the prospectus. They still have no secure battery supplier and still no shipper to bring component of cars from China. So they actually have manufacturing stations in China. That's where they do their manufacturing it. I believe they outsource it, and then they're planning on bringing those cars back to Canada and North America. And this is a company that's stationed in, or at least the headquarters are in British Columbia, Canada. And I think potentially part of the reason why they're so delayed with all these deliveries is because, I mean, you probably know this unless you're living on a rock, but there's a huge supply constraint situation going on right now. For example, for the 4th of July weekend, US citizens weren't able to buy any firecrackers or anything like that for fireworks, or if they did buy them, they were like 25% higher than their usual price, okay? And this is all due to supply constraints. There's the major chip shortage, for example, which means that electric vehicle cars and manufacturers don't have the parts they need for cars, iPhones, whatever you name it, because there's a large scale chip shortage. So again, there's like a hit in the supply side of things, and that's potentially part of the reason why Solo isn't delivering their cars. And if you want to ship something from China to Canada or China to the US, it's going to cost you a lot more. So I mean, maybe take it easy on Solo, but again, they were promising at Q4 of 2020. It's like Q2, Q3 of 2021, and they still haven't delivered anything. So yeah, a lot of people are very, very impatient. So yeah, again, we hope to be, our goal is to start delivery between Q3, Q4 of this year on a first come, first serve basis. Basically, we're honoring our first reservation holders and working down the list. So we'll see if they honor that. As of right now, there's no news coming from them in terms of when they're actually expected to do first delivery. So it may still be a little bit before then. So let's just go into some technical analysis before we look at more of the fundamental components. So this is the 21-day moving average. I'll just like doodle here. This is the Bollinger Band, which represents two standard deviations above and below the 21-day moving average. The moving average, 21-day moving average, is in the orange line, and the 50-day moving average is in the purple line. So it kind of rode the 21-day moving average for a bit, broke below that, and is now sort of going down below here, the lower Bollinger Band. And we'll see if it breaks below the support level, which is the 50-day moving average. As we can see, it sort of bounced off of this 50-day moving average and started going upwards again. And so we'll see if the 50-day moving average acts as a support right here, and hopefully it will start bouncing back off again. So that's if you're more of a short-term investor and you look at swing plays. It might be a pretty good idea to pick up some shares now at around, again, the $4 range. I might actually pick up a few shares just as a swing play and see, hopefully it doesn't ride the lower Bollinger Band anymore and it just comes right across it. But I mean, you might have to wait a few days. The last time it rode the lower Bollinger Band, there were a couple of progressive days with some green days sprinkled in before it actually bounced off of the lower Bollinger Band. So maybe wait a couple of days, 3 or 4 days before starting to pick up some shares. And if it goes even lower, then that's better for you. You'll have more of a gain when it bounces off. But when it did bounce off, look at this nice gain. So even if you caught in the middle, let's say you bought at this red candle right here, you would have made some money if you rode it from this red candle all the way to the top here. So yeah, that's just swing trading for you, but the technicals looking pretty good. RSI at 43, so not necessarily overbought or oversold, but still a pretty decent level there. And again, like, this is what their flagship product looks like right here. They also have the Tofino and the E-Roadster, but they don't produce that many cars, okay? They're really focusing on the Solo, which basically the unique perspective that this company has, and this is what their competitive advantage is, and this is why I have invested in them, is that I believe, and the company believes obviously, is that most people commute to work every day. And then there's like their investor presentation that points that out here. Most people commute to work. And why would you drive a 4-seater that's just like a gas guzzler and costs you way more when you can drive the Solo, which only seats one? You can commute to and from work. It's very versatile. You can park it anywhere. Yeah, it just saves you on gas. It saves you on expenses, potentially saves you on insurance. The only thing is, in some states, I think it acts like a motorcycle, which has its own laws, and like you have to wear a helmet in this thing. Who knows about like what the size constraints are? If like you're a bigger person, I don't know if you'd be able to like fit in this car. But it is a pretty cool concept, and I think that's what their competitive advantage is. Yeah, it's in between micro mobility and passenger vehicles, so more macro mobility there, and it costs a lot less. So the only thing that's concerning me is, of course, like deliveries. Like, come on, guys, like let's get on these deliveries. I don't know what's going on. There's supply constraints or something like that. But making cars is definitely hard. Okay, so maybe let's try to give them the benefit of the doubt. In regards to press releases, I mean, they released their first quarter 2021 financial results, which we'll go over, but they're nothing really surprising. But again, nothing here that talks about their expected delivery date or anything like that. So yeah, I think that's what's holding the stock down in the near term. It's just like, well, you said Q4 2020, it's Q3 2021, and nothing has happened yet. So their company highlights where they broke ground at their Arizona plant right here. When fully constructed and operational, the facility is expected to create 500 jobs and capable of producing 20,000 Solos per year. They appointed the EV industry trailblazer as chief operating officer, et cetera, and expanded the Solo retail footprint to 10 additional high-end shopping centers. So, all of this great stuff, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you're not producing cars, then you're going to go bankrupt and you're going to run out of money. The good thing is they have virtually zero debt and they have a lot of cash on hand. They finished with cash and cash equivalents of $260 million. So that's really, really good to invest in research and development, advertising, and growth expenses. So that's, yeah, I mean, let's see here. Operating loss was $9 million compared to an operating loss of $5.1 million in the same year ago quarter. The increase in operating loss was primarily due to increases in general and administrative research and development and sales and marketing expenses. So yeah, I mean, not great, but I mean, it's just an early start company. You can expect these things for a while. And I mean, like, this is why you don't put all of your portfolio into a very volatile stock like Solo. I think the best case scenario that happens with Solo stock, and my prediction here is, I guess we'll go right here, is that right now this company is trading under $4. I say it goes to, this company starts producing, we see an uptick and an uprate in their vehicle interest, and this stock goes to $7 or $8 in the near term. It could even go above that if they see that their vehicle production and capacity is going up. But until then, we'll just have to wait for that, because a lot of investors, I think, are impatient that they haven't started deliveries yet. So that's just my take on it. I'm going to be holding solo for some time to come. This is a kind of like a high risk, high reward type play. I think the technicals look good even for a swing player in solo, but I'd love to know what your opinion is. All that I ask is that you grace the like button. It just takes a moment out of your day, but significantly helps my YouTube channel grow. And feel free to check out the links down below, for example, to my Patreon to access my real-time buys and sells, as well as this growing, burgeoning community Discord that's totally free to you, where I have a bunch of channels where we talk about new stocks. So yeah, that's also another option. Link is down below. So cheers, guys. Love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.